There are some neighborhoods in New Mexico that are facing a threat right now that is right out of the Dark Ages. The plague, or as it's been known throughout history, Black Death. Well, no matter how you cut it, it sounds frightening. And new research has found it is attacking certain groups of New Mexicans more than others. Dean Staley is on special assignment.
I didn't think no more about it. I just brushed my hands and went on.
78-year-old Carl Hollon has lived near Mountainair almost all his life, but it wasn't until this May that he unknowingly reached out and touched the Black Death, bubonic plague. Hollon found a dead squirrel near his woodpile.
Picked it up by the tail, and I had my gloves on, and I walked right over there by the fence and got it out of there.
That was on a Monday. 5 days later, the plague attacked its first victim of 2012.
Oh, summertime, the wind was blowing, and I got a chill. Ooh, I was shaking. I couldn't stop shaking. So I went back in the house, I wrapped up in the blanket, sat there for a while, and finally got calmed down, you know. And
he awoke the next morning with a fever of 102. By that afternoon, his fever had spiked to almost 104. His wife insisted on a trip to the ER in Albuquerque, and what followed were 10 long days in the hospital.
I'd kind of level out, and then that fever would come back up.
An alert ER doc started Hollon on antibiotics well before plague was diagnosed. As Hollon slowly recovered, his ER doc shared a sobering thought.
He said, if you'd have been hard-headed enough to pass it up for another 6 hours, that you'd never made it out of casement. Said it would have got you.
Since the mid-1970s, most plague cases reported in the U.S. have occurred here in New Mexico. Back in the 80s, plague was usually found in rural areas or places with poor housing conditions. But a new study in this month's issue of Emerging Infectious Diseases shows it's been surfacing in wealthy areas of two of the state's biggest cities.
In the areas surrounding Santa Fe and Albuquerque, where new houses are being built in areas that are good areas for plague activity, we were seeing more human cases.
Scientists call these areas wild reservoirs of plague, places where ground squirrels and wood rats live. As the plague affects this new population, a population that's pushing the urban boundary further into the wild, there is a brand new group of people who need to be aware of the danger and how to protect themselves. That means affluent homeowners in wilderness areas need to be aware of and avoid fleas, which transfer plague from rodents to people and their pets.
It might be going out on a walk where there are nests or burrows that rodents have died off on and the fleas are jumping out.
Since his recovery, Hollon has been busy getting rid of brush piles on his property, cleaning sheds, and counting his blessings.
So, the good Lord was with me.
On special assignment, Dean Staley, KRQE News 13.
Mr. Hollon spoke to us because he said he wanted his neighbors and others to know about this threat.